everybody, Camelia here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a new sewing pattern review, chit chat style of kind of video. So today I would like to share with you my make from Knipmode 8 2024. You know, I'm trying every month to make at least one pattern from Knipmode. I have a subscription with them, but I also have a small collaboration where I get to choose a pattern from the upcoming magazine, so I have the time to sew it in advance before the magazine is getting published. So you know, like this, I do get to see the patterns in advance. That's why I have it already done. But also in the second part of this video, I would like to show you, you know, I was working in my previous video on another pattern from the previous Knipmode magazine, 7/2024, and I have it here done. It turned out really great, so I want to talk a little bit about this dress number 17 from Knipmode 7/2024. But before I go on, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you that are watching all the flip through magazine videos. I get a lot of nice comments and a lot of reactions, and again, also for this video, I will say it again, please consider giving thumbs up to the video. It's very important, you know, in the massive video ocean here on YouTube. Having the thumbs ups are very important on the video, so please consider doing that right now. You are here on the channel. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the dress that I made. That will be dress number 4. I don't have the magazine, so I will put pictures here or here to talk a little bit about the design first before I get into my own, you know, rendition of the pattern. So this is dress number 4, and I have also here, I have also a little toile, a little test garment that I made for it. But to talk a little bit about the dress first, so they have in the magazine, this dress is actually made in 2 variations. Is this one, as you see it here, with a really high neckline. There is also in the description that the dress has a high neckline. Actually, my dress here is already dropped about 2 centimeters. It has in the back, I hope you can see it, it has a channel where elastic, white elastic is into that channel in the back, which is very important, and I'll come to that in a moment. The dress, you see it in the pictures, there is a lot of volume in the back. Also, that elastic is bringing everything together. I'll not say like a cape, like my daughter said, but there is quite a bit of volume there, and also in the front actually is a lot of volume. They have it in the magazine, and I hope I will coordinate this really well. You will see it now. They have it, this variation with the armholes and all this, they have it made in a green cotton and also in a viscose. And you will see, if you will see in the pictures, that there is a really big difference between the cotton version and between the viscose version. And I will say that this will work probably also in a very flowy linen, but I will not go heavier than that. This one that I made is made in a silk. It's one of the Minerva Exclusive latest fabrics types. This one is a crepe silk, which is just at the limit. This one is a little bit heavier than a viscose like this. So the fabric, it's very important in this pattern because there is a lot of volume, and I'll come to the sizing in a moment. The other option that they have in the magazine, and you'll see it again in the picture, I hope, it's one made, and I will show you. You can see it on the pattern piece. Let's see. This one is the front. The version that you see here next to me in the picture, they cut it actually, they cut it here. That would be like, we'll say, the notch of the armhole. They cut it and then they make like a tunnel, and also in the back it's cut. So you have, as you see in the pictures, everything is getting tied up with ties that they are getting feed into these channels in the front and in the back. And also there they used a cotton and a viscose, and you'll see there is a lot of volume in this dress. The neckline here and together with the armholes, they are finished with an all-in-one facing, and as you can see also in my pictures, there is a high-low, the hem is lower in the back. Something that I always say, if you consider Knipmode magazine patterns, keep in mind that they are drafting for 1.72 m, and you can, what I really love is the fact that they put in the pictures in the magazine, you see that they say how high the height, the length of the model, and which size she's wearing. And again, I don't have the magazine here, I don't have time to pick it up. In this dress, is worn by a model that is 1.75 m, and she's wearing a size M. And for me, it's very important actually the length and the height of the model. And I noticed that on their models, the dress is much shorter because I'm only 169, and I did not add a hem allowance on my dress, but it's still so I took the 2 centimeters for the hem from the original length, but it's still a little bit too long, but I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, to talk a little bit about the sizing, how I decided to go with the sizing on this one, because again, you can see in the pictures that there is a lot of volume, but also when I had the pattern printed and I've seen how wide the pieces were, I knew that it's going to be really too wide. Something else, on their website, in the web shop where you can buy the PDF, you can also see a few more pictures. I'm not a big fan of all those fashion pictures where you can see the models turning and, you know, having all those nice poses, but you cannot really see all the details of the dress. But you can, if you know for what you are looking for, you can get an idea sometimes. Very important in this dress actually is the size of the armhole, and based on that you can also decide how you see how much volume you have. On this one, you see it in the pictures, I hope I have some pictures from the side, the armhole is pretty low, but in this case here it's already taken off by 2.5 centimeters, otherwise it was really low. They advertise this dress also as a great beach cover-up, and I suppose if you are using it for that, you will not need to worry so much about how much armhole you are showing. But if you want to have this as not a formal dress, as a dress that you walk on the street, I think it's something to keep in mind, because otherwise you are going to show your whole bra. So after measuring a little bit and looking a little bit at the pattern, normally I'm making this is in their size range S to XXL, I think. So normally when the size range is like that, and not the usual one from 34, 36 and so on, I'm making a size M, and in size M it will be 38 and size 40. But in this case, because there was such it's quite an oversized style, I decided to go with the size S, but actually only for the side seam, and I did keep the size M for the length of the armhole here. And I'm thinking now, maybe if I did take here this armhole, the S, I think it was better, because then it would have brought even higher the armhole, but then also the neckline. So anyway, I used the size 36 for the side seam, and used the size 36, I'll say S for the side seam, M for the armholes and the neckline. With that I made my toile, and I'll talk in a moment about the toile. Before I even made my toile, I realized that the neckline, it was really high, and also in the magazine you'll see it in the pictures. I'll pop a picture now. You'll see that the neckline is really high, and I did not even think about it, how that will affect when I need to put the garment over my head, but I was thinking I'll go crazy if the neckline is really up to here. So with that in my head, I decided to drop the neckline of quite a few centimeters, and I just want to show you how you compare this with my facing piece of the first try. Oh, let's see. Just open something on my tablet. So this one here that I'm showing you is already modified. by about 2 centimeters. Did I write on it? Yes, 2 centimeters. But for my test garment, I went actually really low. Let's see. So as you can see, this one is already 2 centimeters lower than the original, this one, and this one was even lower. Well, the thing is that it was looking kind of crazy, the really drastic one here. So I'll put the test garment, I'll put it over this girl. So I was thinking, well, I don't really like that shape. So that was something that later I adjusted back. Let's see. As you can see here, let's bring her a little bit close. So this little top I did cut a little bit, you know, you don't need to have the whole dress. This one is also made in a pretty, this one is a satin, a polyester satin, but it's a little bit, I can compare it with the final silk that I used. And as you can see, the shape was not really nice, it was drooping a little bit too much here. So I went back for the final one and dropped the neckline only by 2 centimeters. And if I was to measure here 2 centimeters higher, you will see that the original neckline, it was really here at the base of the neck. So that's something to keep in mind, that the neckline is really high. The next, so that will be for the front. So I went for the toile, I just went with a size S for the side seams, M for the armhole, and the neckline dropped by, so let's see, this is the test garment maybe by 4 centimeters even here, the center front. In the end I brought it back, so this one, the final, what you see in the pictures, is only dropped by 2 centimeters. Now, of course, the thing that attracted me to this dress was that elasticated detail in the back, at the back of the neck. And I was very excited to put this on. I did, and I'm going to turn this first to show it to you. I did add also the facings, because you need to have that in order to create that channel in the back. Usually I'm just stay stitching the armholes and the neckline when I'm making a test garment. I don't put facings in if it's not really necessary, but in this case I did have to add those facings, because later you are coming and you are stitching a tunnel from one shoulder seam to the other one, and that is creating the channel to put the elastic in. Well, I must say that when I put this on, I was really disappointed. Actually, I just fit the elastic through the channel, put a pin at one shoulder, and then also on the other shoulder, don't stitch it in place, and then you have the chance to adjust that elastic to make it wider or shorter, or longer or shorter. The only thing was, with the first elastic that I used, it was really sticking out, and as you can see on this girl here, it's sitting pretty nice against the neckline. But with the first elastic that I used, it was the 3 centimeter wide elastic, yes, 3, that I'm usually using for, you know, for pants and stuff like that in the waistband. But that elastic, it was really very stiff, and because, you know, the elastic is straight here, it's not going to take exactly the contour of your body. It was sticking out like a lot. Well, this is a little exaggerated, but something like that. So I was thinking, oh my god, what I'm going to do, because I really don't want that, then it's really looking like you have a cape. So then I came with the idea to use a little bit softer elastic, and that's what I used, some really cheap elastic, and it's just a little bit lesser wide. I think it's about 2.5 centimeters. And I made it in the final garment also just a little bit shorter, to bring everything a little bit tighter on the back here of the neck. Something really important to keep in mind if you consider this dress, and I will say that made in the silk, and also in a, this is really how should I say, luxurious and expensive, I know, but even made in a cheap satin like this, it feels really nice, because there is really a lot of volume, so I love the feel of it. The only thing is that with this you need to keep in mind, when you decide how long that elastic is going to be, you know, maybe you're going to say I'm going to scrunch it up all the way. You need to keep in mind that this elastic is not only to bring that volume of the back together and to form that draping in the back, but it's actually very important to put the garment over your head. If you have the original neckline here 2 centimeters higher than this one, and you have also, you scrunch up that elastic a lot, then you have really difficulties to put this thing over your head because the hole is not so big. So when I put this one on, I was thinking, well, I really need to have that elastic because otherwise I cannot put the garment on. So that was about the elastic. Something else somebody said on a Facebook group, I was talking there about my worries about the elastic, and I did not try that because I had already done my dress and I'm pretty happy with this one in the end. So I used also here the cheaper, softer elastic, and after I put it on, I adjusted, of course, I tried the dress on and I adjusted this length of the elastic, and then I gave it a really nice steam, and that also shaped just a little bit here the fabric in position. So that is also something that could work. Somebody was saying on Facebook that maybe, and I don't know if this would work, but I think it's really worth trying to add here actually a few rows of shearing elastic. And I think that could work because, you know, you are really going, because there is a little bit of shape here in the, let's take a look at the, I'm going to put this away. There is, of course, some shaping in the neckline. Let's see. There is just a little bit of shaping at the neckline, so using shearing elastic for a few rows, that could work. It will still be stretchy and probably will sit better than a really wide elastic that you just put it in there. That could work, but that's something really to keep in mind, designing on the elastic, or maybe even use a little bit lesser wide elastic. Even this one here I used 2.5 centimeters, maybe only 2 centimeters would also be nice. I don't know, could be. Also, when you finish this and you put the elastic on and you are happy with the size, give it a nice tug to help the fabric, you know, to go all over the back here, nice and evenly. The facing of the dress, as I said, the necklines and the armholes are finished with the facing, with a all-in-one facing like this. And to be honest, I used to do this a lot in the past when I was sewing a lot with Burda. I remember I made quite a few dresses with all-in-one facings, and it was for me really, you know, very easy to make them. But now I had to think a little bit how was that, how was working that. And it's actually really easy. If you read the instructions in the magazine, if you are Dutch and you're reading Dutch instructions, you are going to think, what do I need to do here? I will say just look it up on YouTube, all-in-one facings, and you'll find on Dress Magazine here on YouTube, they have a really great video on that. And if you have the book from Knip Mode, they have the same instructions in this version of the book. Let's see, in this one is a little bit older. This will be in chapter 5, where they talk about the all-in-one facing, especially when you don't have a side seam or a side seam and center back seam, where you sew the neckline. That's also actually explained in the sewing instructions. But what you do actually is you are sewing the neckline, you sew the bodice and the facing at the side seams, then you sew the neckline of the, you know, neckline bodice to facing back and front. You sew the necklines only, you clip and you understitch. Then you sew the armholes of the facing and the garment, and you leave a few centimeters at the upper part of the armholes here open. Then the next step, you will understitch the armhole, pull it out, sew the shoulder seam in one pass, and then put it again to the back and sew that little bit. I'm pretty sure that if you have a video, it's really easy to look it up. It's the all-in-one facing. That's what you need to search for. So I think that was everything about this dress. Oh, it was not everything about the dress. Something else that I noticed, because you have, when you put this elastic and you are pulling it in, you know, to bring everything together, you need to realize that you actually also bring this the armhole a little bit higher, so you'll need to have enough width here on your shoulder length of the garment to cover your eventually your brow or whatever. So to be sure that I have enough, because I noticed that on the test garment was just a little bit too narrow, although normally in a Knipmode magazine pattern I'll have to take 1 centimeter because of a narrow shoulder adjustment that I'm making all the time. In this one I actually added, let's see here what it is the back. I did the same in the front, of course. Actually I added here about 1 centimeter to give me enough bra coverage. Another change that you'll see here, after I made the garment, this one in the silk, I realized that the armhole was really low on me, and I don't like unpicking. I just don't like it. You know, if I need to fix something, I prefer to make a whole new garment than to fix something. But you know, sometimes I need to fix stuff. I cannot just throw things away. So the dress was finished. I was pretty sure that it's going to be alright, but this was really too low on me, the armhole. It was just really too low. So the solution was to unpick the understitching of the facing, unpick the stitching, of course, between the facing and the bodice, and I brought this about 2.5 centimeters in, and that made it of course smaller. And you can see here I did not cut it away, but I started from here and blended it a little bit lower. Here is a lot of volume. You'll have to be sure that if you have the same problem like I did, and you have to take this in when the dress is done. I'll lose the back here. On the back is not a problem, you can take whatever, but the problem is that in the front at one moment, although here there is quite a bit of volume, if you keep going here, you'll start to take, of course, also room from the bust, and the bust like this is actually the max that I could go. Remember, I am already a size, I took a size smaller than my usual sizing, and even I think this will be almost another size smaller at the underarm. So I think the main thing that you need to keep in mind in this pattern is the fact that there is a lot of volume, and that you need to use a very drapey fabric. So the fabric in this case, as I said, is a silk, 100% silk from Minerva, which went to, it's this, it's silk. It's nice to wear. It's not static or whatever. It's really great. Sewing this, I did wash it by hand with wool. What's the name? I cannot come on the name. It's the same stuff that I'm using for my knits to wash. So I wash it with a little bit warm water and let it flat to dry. I used the normal polyester thread to sew, and 75 or 80 universal needle, which went really great. For the rest, I will say that you'll see it in the pictures that I also made a few with a belt, and probably I'm going to wear it with a belt, although I feel so nice wearing it without. It's like, like I was talking to my daughter and I was saying I can have 10 foot babies in this dress, nobody's going to notice. That's really awesome. But the little elastic detail here in the neck, I think it's really nice. So I think this was everything about dress number 4 from Knipmode 8 2024. I am going to put my things together, and I'm going to talk a little bit about dress number 17, which is really nice. I'm very happy with this one. And of course, if you have I don't know, any questions about this, put them in the comments under the video, and I'll try to help you with them. Again, keep in mind there is a lot of volume. This girl doesn't have arms, of course, but you see it in my pictures, and it was very windy when I took those pictures, but even then there is a lot of volume in this dress. I think that's something to keep in mind. I did not add the pockets. You could add pockets. There are pockets instructions in the magazine, but I did not bother because I know I'm not going to use the pockets. So I'm going to switch and talk about this dress. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this beauty here. You see, of course, pictures of me wearing it, you know, all the length. This dress is I keep saying dress 17, but it's actually dress 16, which is this one here from Knip Mode 7 2024. And actually this dress, I think they have it only in this rendition here with this fabric. This one was something that you could really pass, you know, if you're watching the magazine. I was also not very enthusiastic when I saw it, and I think it has to do with the fabric. Although the fabric is really pretty, I think the colors are a little bit old for me, or I don't know, the combination, or there is something. So this, the thing what attracted me was actually the technical drawing of this dress. So I had this piece of EcoVero viscose linen look from Minerva, which is this one here. I still have a little piece with a really pretty print. You can see it in the back actually, that the way the viscose is woven, you have like a little slub, and it really looks like linen, but actually it's 100% viscose, which is really nice. It's very flowy. I will say that it has just a little bit heavier hand, just a little bit. Is still a light fabric than their normal challis fabric, but it's really pretty. So I had this piece and I was thinking, what for dress should I make with it? Something that I would really like to wear a lot. And I remember this dress from Knip Mode. This is actually, they used the top of this dress, they used it in the magazine also for some other shirts and stuff like that. And they also use it, I think, for one of their really oversized shirts that they have here in the magazine. If I'm not mistaken, actually also for this one is the upper part the same. Something to see immediately, to observe in this one, is actually the length of the armhole again. As you can see, this is something, and I think it has to do with the fact that it's a sleeveless garment, and of course in a garment with a sleeve you will definitely need to have a higher armhole, because if the armhole is here you really cannot move your arm. But in this style, of course, you can go with a lower armhole, there is not a problem. So a few details about the dress. It has a button up, button down front here. You have there are buttons. It's a standard color, a shirt color with a stand. I did not add a button here because I know that I'm not going to use it. So this is it's really standard. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, and probably I could have added another one here. Buttons. I'm really happy I found the buttons. They are, as you can see, they are really fitting with this fabric. They are from an old shirt or something like that. I had them in my stash. In the back there is a yoke. Of course it's difficult to see, and I'm not sure, but I could not find in the instructions where they say to cut the yoke double, and I think also in the pattern layout is only one time, but they are talking about having the instructions are made with a double yoke, so I'm double layered yoke. I'm not sure why I could not find that, but I did make it double. Then you have the armholes, which are finished with bias binding, and I used the same fabric to make my own. There are no darts because all the volume here is happening, you know, also for the bust fitting, and you see the fit is really nice. And actually the fitted silhouette is given by this elastic in the waist. The patterns, the pattern pieces that you get, they are only for the upper part of the shirt, of the dress, so you get the bodies, the collar and the collar stand, and of course yoke and stuff like that. The button placket is cut on, so you have a fold line, and here the channel for the elastic, actually they take that into account on the size of the skirt or on the length of the skirt. You get only instructions for 2 rectangles that you cut for the skirt, and you'll see it in the pictures how it's fitting me. I took about 20 centimeters off from the original length. It was really long, and if we were to watch here, you can also see immediately this girl here in the magazine, this is really a maxi length on her, and she's 1.80 meters, so she's already about 10-11 centimeters longer than I am. So the final, I did measure that before I start to cut the fabric, because there is no use to add 20 centimeters when I know that I'm going to chop them off. So you see, if you're making the dress, in the instructions they do give the length including the 3 or 4 centimeters for the elastic casing. Something that I find a little bit, it was a little bit not tricky to sew, because I did find my way to sew it, but I think it was better to say in the instructions to add the same width for the that they considered for the elastic casing on the bodies, because then it will be easy to sew them, to sew together with the skirt at a 4 centimeter seam allowance, you know, and that's going to form the casing. But instead of that, I had only 1.5 centimeter on my bodice, so I had to put some markings on the skirt to be sure that I'm going to sew them together at the right width. So that was a little bit tricky. I'm just going to take this, to take it off to show you how the channel is looking on the inside. It's actually a really easy, you know, if you are new to sewing and you are going to say to hear me again saying, oh, you're saying again that is really easy. It is a really easy garment. If you know how to put a collar onto a shirt, you can definitely make this one. So as you can see here, this is on the inside. Let's put it a little bit nice. Let's put it to the front. Like so. Let's see here. As you can see, here is the casing. I did turn the seam allowance that I had here extra to keep just what I needed for my elastic, and top stitch it. It's looking really nice on the inside, and then one of the side seams, it was actually left open to put the elastic in, and then I stitch it back. You can also see here that this is on the inside of course, there are slits for the side seams. Also very nice, you can see it also in the pictures. So this one was also, I did not make test garment for this one, because I was thinking, well, you know, it's going to fit me size 38. No adjustments. Did I make a sway back adjustment? Let's see. I have here my, yes, I did make a sway back adjustment. Let's see it here. You can see it here on the lower part, the horizontal cut here down. And you know, I was thinking this is going to fit me. I made already so many dresses of this style in size 38. I was pretty sure I'm going to be okay. Of course, when the dress was done, I put it on. And what do you think? The armholes, they're really, really low. I did miss that. I did not think about it too much, you know, how low they are going to be. You know, I was thinking, well, they're going to be okay. Well, I am going to try to put, I took some pictures how it was looking, the original one, and you could really see my whole bra band here. So I had to do a little bit of the same what I did in the other dress that you've seen. I had to unpick the bias binding, my beautiful bias binding. I had to unpick it, and then also here I ended up, let's see, like this, taking about 2.5 centimeters, and of course I had already the elastic and everything in, so I had to blend in just a little bit above the elastic channel, so take it in about 2.5 centimeters, and that fixed my problem. You see it in the pictures that it's looking much better, especially if I was to compare with how first was looking. It was really bad. It was very, very bad. But I fixed it. That's important. And you'll see it here. I did add the yolk here on the back in order to be sure that I blend this nicely. You can see it here. Yeah, so I'm really happy with this one. I think this one is the perfect summer dress. It's long, not too long. It doesn't have pockets, and I will say that in this one I kind of miss the pockets. But because I finished the seam allowances on the side seams separately and they are pressed open, it's really easy actually to make pocket bags, sew them, and opening that side seam exactly where the pockets are. So that's not a big, that's really not hard to do. So this was it for this month. I hope you enjoyed my my two dresses. I'm really, really happy with both of them. I'm already seeing myself in Spain in the summer. You know, we don't have summer here, with my luxury silk dress, but I'll have to wait for that. And this one, I did wear this one already a lot. I'm really, really happy with it. I cannot say what I'm going to make from the next Knip Mode, as I already know, but that's going to be a really great pattern too. And I'll see you next with some other things that I made. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, of course, put them here in the comments. I'll be happy to help you with any problems. Again, don't forget to give thumbs up, really, really important. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!